All right, guys, it is shockingly easy to become a top 1% man. Being this kind of guy is framed as this really difficult thing to accomplish. We act like it's this big deal, but truthfully, you're gonna find out in this video that it's actually incredibly easy to do, and we're gonna break down how you can do it here in just a few minutes. So, the first thing we need to discuss, though, is who is your competition, right? To be a top 1% man means you had to beat 99% of men. And we're competing out here, let's be honest. I think people try to act like life is this, friendly thing where we're all out to help each other, but that's just not the case, guys. Every guy wants the woman you want. Every guy wants the money you want. Every guy wants that nice car. We're constantly competing. Nobody really admits this, but you need to understand that it's a competition. You are at war with other men to become the top level guy. Now, who is your competition? Well, this right here is the average man. Not much to write home about, let's be honest. 26% body fat is the average body fat percentage for a man in his late 20s and early 30s. $37,585 is the average income for a person in America. I keep hammering on these stats because it's just so important. Get this into your head, guys. You can beat the average person. This is your competition. United States has $1.16 trillion in credit card debt. People are swamped in credit card debt, making less than $40,000 a year with that body. That is your competition. That is the average man right there, okay? And what are they doing with their daily lives? Stuff like this. Look, we taped a beer to our hands. Like, this is the kind of stupid shit guys are doing in their 20s. Look how cool we are. A bunch of guys at some sausage fest with beers taped to their hands. Last one to finish drinking it has to go drink piss or something. Like stupid games guys play. Like, this is so dumb. Like, it's just ridiculous. Watching porn, eating crappy food like that. They get off work from a job they don't like, and they play video games and waste their time. And then they wonder how they end up at 30, 35 years old, stuck in a job they hate, with a woman who doesn't respect them, driving a minivan to soccer practice. It's because you wasted all your free time and didn't focus on escaping the life you don't like. This is what the average person does, okay? Can you just not do that stuff? Can you not tape a beer to your hands and jack off? I mean, come on. It makes sense how these kind of actions lead to these kinds of results. It's just cause and effect universe. I think people act like it's all luck and stuff like that. It's really not. It's just stupidity leads to bad outcomes, okay? Now here's this chart I've been talking about a lot. If you have not seen my If You Feel Like You're Falling Behind in Life video, I really break this chart down in detail. Go watch it when we're done. It's kind of like the entry point for new viewers to the channel to really understand one of the big topics we discuss here, which is about becoming an outlier kind of guy, living a different lifestyle. This chart really breaks it down. So what you'll see on the red line is the normal life path for a man. You'll see that it ranges from around a 1 to a 2 out of 10 in quality. It gets up to a 2, in your early 20s when you don't have much responsibility. Maybe you're in college, getting drunk, all this stuff, just goofing off. Then once you leave college, it falls again. You're some entry-level employee making practically no money. Picks up a little bit in your mid-20s because you still don't have much responsibility. You're living paycheck to paycheck, trying to finance some nice car and just look like you're winning when you're not. And then it gradually just falls apart. And then you've got this outlier life path here, which is the blue line, where you start down and it just hockey sticks because you put in the work, you made the right choices, you get to live a 10 out of 10 lifestyle, which is just the best that the world has to offer. And just like the average man does these horrible behaviors and ends up with these results, getting that outlier life is it's just about actions. It's your actions compounding on each other to lead to a point where you are living an incredible life. Actions have consequences. Now, this right here is something I haven't talked about since I originally discussed this chart, which is this green line here. A lot of you watching this, most of you guys who watch my channel, you're in your mid-20s. A lot of you probably did not know about this stuff at 18 to 20 years old. Maybe you're working a job you don't like. You're some junior data analyst making $50,000 a year. You hate your job. You just did what people told you to do. You're driving some Kia you're not happy with. Like, you don't see purpose in your life. And you're seeing this kind of content, and it might be like, geez, like, I didn't get on the blue line quick enough. I might be in trouble, or I'm falling behind. Well, the good thing is, you can actually become a top 1% man very quickly. You could be starting at that green dot at 25 years old. You've just been living the average life path. You're kind of down bad. You're broke. You're gaining weight, all that stuff. You can turn it around like that, guys. Seriously, you can go from right there at 25, you'll see around 28 years old, you reach a 6 out of 10 quality of life. Now, a 6 out of 10 quality of life is a top 1% man. And I'm going to break down how all that makes sense here in a second, but just so you understand, If the average man is 26% body fat making $37,000 per year, then a top 1% life is being in good shape and making about 6 figures a year, so 100 grand a year. You make $100,000 a year and you're in good shape. You are a top 1% man. I'll show the proof here in just a second with the statistics on that. That's really not hard to do. Honestly, you might think it is, but it's not. You know, being a top 1% man is a lot more accessible than I think we're led to believe. It really just comes down to not fucking up, honestly. And so you get up to here where the 6 out of 10 is, and you'll see where it turns into the dotted line. This is where I describe it as a choice for men. You know, if you basically just want to make smart choices and not screw your life up, you can be a top 1% man. To get up to the 10 out of 10 lifestyle, that does require an enormous amount of work. You have to really live completely different, that you're in a different reality. I'm beginning to figure this out because I'm at the 6 out of 10 spot and I'm continuing to push. I'm figuring out like your mind has to completely change. So much begins to change as you start pushing further into these higher levels of life for men. If you guys want me to make a video breaking down how to get to that top level, like we're talking 1 in 10,000 kind of guy, I'll make a video on that. Just leave a comment and let me know. If enough people are interested, I'll put that video together. But really, we're going to discuss here just how simple it is to get to that 6 out of 10. It's not that hard. It's really straightforward. And that's such a better quality of life. What happens at a 6 out of 10 lifestyle? We're talking about all the pretty girls in your town are interested in you. We're talking about you've got a nice car to drive. You have a nice house. Everybody thinks you're winning. They're like, man, this guy's doing great in life. So awesome. You know, he's making 6 figures. He drives, I don't know, a truck, a Lexus, whatever you're into. He's got it paid off. You know, he's not stressed about money. He's in good shape, man. This guy's really killing it. Like, people want to learn about like how you did it. Everybody's impressed by you, all that kind of stuff. This comes with just a 6 out of 10 lifestyle. And you're going to find out here in just a minute just how easy it is to get to this top 1% level. It's so easy, guys. Being a top 1% man is not all that hard. It just requires common sense, okay? 0.4% of the population are making 6 figures and living a healthy lifestyle. This is what I told you I was going to discuss with you. So 18% of the United States population is making 6 figures. And then 2.7% of people in America are living a healthy lifestyle, meaning they eat well, they exercise regularly, and their body fat percentage is at a healthy range. Those 3 things, only 2.7% of the population has that. So when you take 18% and then you get 2.7% of that group, so it's like 18% of the population are making 6 figures, and then 2.7% of that group is going to be in good shape, living the healthy lifestyle. That gets you down to 0.4% of the total population is making 6 figures and living a healthy lifestyle. So 4 out of every 1,000. And that might sound insane, but think about it. Think about when you walk around in your day-to-day life. How many people do you see like this? I mean, I am this guy at this point. I don't see many of them. It's very uncommon. 4 in 1,000 seems about accurate to me. If somebody who takes care of their health really well and is making 6 figures. I have a friend, I have one friend who's doing this as well. He's the only one I know who's doing it. It's extremely uncommon, okay? So it just kind of makes sense. And the thing is, all of this is within your control, you know? 90% of becoming a top 1% man is just not fucking up, all right? Now, what I'm getting ready to show you here is a scene from my favorite movie, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. It's an epic show. If you haven't seen it, go watch the movies. They're awesome. But I want to show you this scene because to me, this describes what it's like to become a top 1% man so well. So what you just saw there was all these guys, like they're charging into this battlefield. And you'll notice that they're all getting like picked off as they go charging in. You see the guys at the front lines, like an arrow hits one, he's dead. One hits his horse, he's dead. Like they're just dropping like flies. And only a few of them actually get to the enemy lines to attack and break through the line and all that good stuff. This is the perfect analogy for what it's like to become a top 1% man. Is everybody's charging ahead. They're trying to make something of themselves, and people are just getting picked off left and right. They're dropping out of the race. Somebody gets hit with this, somebody gets hit with that. And your job, if you want to be a top 1% man, is basically just to not get knocked out of the fight. Most of these people are knocking themselves out. Being a top 1% man is not hard. It's just about common sense. And you're going to see here in a second, we're going to break down how this all works, but it's the perfect analogy. It's like back in the day when they had the Revolutionary War and all that stuff, all the peons would line up and just shoot directly at each other. Talk about having balls, honestly. Like, crazy. You could not get me doing that. I'm some, like, private in some military. I'm just getting shot up for some general's glory. You got me fucked up on that one. But they did it. But it was literally like all it was at that point was basically you were just trying not to get killed. And that's what it's like as a man in your 20s. You're lined up there, somebody's shooting at you, and you're just hoping the bullet hits somebody else. And that's really what it's like. Everyone's just dropping around you, and the winner is the one who just doesn't die. And that's really all you have to do is figure out how to not die in your 20s, do basic stuff. You're 90% of the way there to being a top 1% man. So the rest of this video, we're going to cover how men knock themselves out of the game and the actionable steps that you can take to become a top 1% man. There are 6 main ways men knock themselves out of the game. So just think about those guys charging into the battlefield. There are 6 big things that are knocking them off their horses and killing them before they even get to the line, okay? And you just want to avoid these things. They're all within your control. And if you can do that, then you're going to pretty much be a top 1% man. And just think about, like, when you're going through this, think about how many people have already screwed these things up. And it's DOA. They're done. They crashed out. Like, it's over for them. First thing right here, health. How many people just absolutely destroy their health? Like I said, 2.7% of people living a healthy lifestyle. So, I mean, hypothetically, you're knocking out about 95, 97% of the population. Just with this one, your competition destroys themselves. Look at that body, right? What woman wants that? Nobody's impressed by that. You look like dog shit, right? Eating McDonald's, yeah, great for you, right? Like, this is what people do. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning and they're binge running McDonald's and stuff like that. Eating Mexican food. You know, I like Mexican food, man. This one was hard for me to let go of because I used to like it. But I would wake up in the morning every time I had Mexican food, and my face is bloated. I feel like crap. It's just like it's like puffy. I just feel bloated. It's not good. And I'm gaining weight from it and stuff. I'm just like, why am I doing this? I want to be great. I don't want to eat Mexican food. Guys, if you're out there, I mean, I make this content. Some people get all upset about this kind of stuff, and they'll say things like, well, why can't I just have a little bit of it? And things like that. Why can't I just play a little bit of video games? Why can't I drink every now and then? They'll say this kind of stuff to me, and I tell them, look, you can do whatever you want with your life. I make content for guys who want to be great, because I want to be great. And so I don't have time for bullshit that holds me back. If you want to go eat Mexican food and drink beers and play video games and be fat, by all means, guys, I don't give a shit. I mean, that's just less competition for me, but I'm trying to be great. I'm trying to motivate those of you out there who want to be great too. And eating junk like this is the stuff that guys crash out on. It's just Mexican food 4 times a week. It's this guy right here. Like, this is like the worst thing you can do, and guys do it all the time. It's the combo. It's like the triple threat, right? On the couch, so you're sitting, TV on, so your brain's rotting, and you're eating junk food. It's the triple threat, right? It's just all of it combined to just fuck you up, right? This is knocking 95, 97% of the guys out of the race right here, okay? Just avoid that. Clean food, all that good stuff. Right here, this one's gonna knock some people out. Debt. And I mean bad debt, okay? Student loans that you had no plan for. I'm not talking about you went to get a law degree. I'm talking about you went and you're like, I guess I'll get a business administration degree. This is what I was doing, right? Before I woke up and found some purpose in life, I was going to college. I was going to get this business administration degree, and I was going to be an HR manager because I was like, I don't know, I guess I'm going to climb a corporate ladder and work in a cubicle for the rest of my life. I was absolutely miserable about this. That's why I couldn't get myself to go to class. I was failing classes because I didn't want this. I was just drinking constantly because I had no purpose in life, and I was about to be in debt for some shit that was going to make me miserable. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't wake up like I did, and so they get the debt right here, $38,375, the average student loan balance. When you're $38,000 in debt, you don't have much flexibility. You have to work a job. So now you got a bunch of debt, which almost locks you into a life path that you don't want to be on. Because now you got to pay that debt off, so you got to go work the job that you got the degree for. So now you're stuck doing something you hate to pay off debt, which you incurred the debt to get the job you hate. Like, what are we doing here? This is insane, but people do this stuff. Having a car that you don't need at a young age, like show off later in life, guys. You're not supposed to be showing off at 25. Seriously. I only got a new car when my old car was just practically breaking apart. I had like 200,000 miles on my Toyota Camry, and I was like, all right, time to get a Honda Accord. I'm not trying to flex right now. I'm 27. I'm moving up, guys. Like I said, I am, at this point, I would say a top 1% man. But I'm still not trying to show off because I know where this thing can go. So if you're getting like Audis and BMWs and all this crap in your 20s, I'll tell you that's a huge mistake. And this is the kind of thing guys do that crash themselves out of the race. This is how they get killed before they ever cross the line. Stuff like this. Credit card debt. Guys, I know people who have been absolutely destroyed by credit card debt. Seriously, pay the balance off every month. You get swamped in this stuff, and what happens with bad debt is it imprisons you. You have less mobility and flexibility. You can't take a chance on yourself when you're in debt. I tried building multiple businesses. I quit a job and moved across the country to Houston, Texas to try and learn how to build an online business, learn about social media. I was connecting with people, networking. I couldn't have done that if I had all this debt. Because it's like, shit, I guess I better stay with my safe job and pay off these debts, because you have responsibilities then. This kind of stuff knocks you out of the race, because a big part of becoming incredibly successful as a man is you have to have the flexibility to try things, because you're going to fuck up a lot. Seriously, you guys know this. Most of you watching this are in your 20s or your early 30s. How many things have you screwed up in your life? How many chances have you taken that didn't work out? It happens all the time. The majority of the things you're going to try aren't going to work. So if you're in debt, then it limits your ability to take chances, which limits your options and opportunities to succeed. So this is a huge one that guys crash out on, is the bad debt. Next one, bad career planning, or simply not having a career plan at all, okay? This is how you end up with jobs that pay you $50,000 a year or $37,000 a year, right? Like these two right here. This simply comes from you didn't think about it. Because if you were thinking about it, you'd be like, okay, what careers pay me the kind of money that I want? And we know the answers to this. You can just go look. It's like, what are the high income skills? Sales, marketing, what else? Like computer coding, knowing about artificial intelligence, blue collar trades, electricians, things like that. These things pay pretty well. Business skills is what I would recommend. Learn how to start a business, because that's how you can really elevate, because you're just only going to go so far as an employee. I put on here as well, like a graphic designer, and you might be like, well, I thought graphic designers got paid well. The thing about this job is AI is going to wipe this kind of career out. And this is what I say, bad career planning wipes a lot of people out. Imagine you went to college and you're $50,000 in student loan debt for a graphic design degree and learning all these kinds of things. But now at this point, and within the next year, I'm going to be able to go on Chat GPT and say, create me 10 logos based on my company's brand and vision and statement and all that kind of stuff. And it'll just pop out stuff that's better than the graphic designer for free. So like these kinds of careers are insolvent now that AI is around. It's just going to wipe them all out. You're in debt for this kind of stuff. Honestly, it should freak you out if you took this route. You should be understanding you need to pivot. Then there's things like this, carpet cleaning. And I'm not begrudging anybody trying to work, right? You got to do what you got to do at different points in life. But it's just like you end up in these situations due to lack of planning. And nothing against somebody cleaning carpets, but you're not going to be a top 1% man cleaning carpets, making $40,000 a year. It's just not going to happen, right? It just makes sense. So this is the kind of thing guys do to destroy themselves as well. No planning on the career. They're too busy getting drunk at frat parties to actually think it through and be like, I think I'll go do this path in life. And so if you make this mistake, you're going to be in trouble. Next thing, child's going to wipe you out. Seriously, I don't see a good reason to have kids young. And people will be on the feels about this one, be like, no, it's special having a kid, nothing's like it. I'm sure. But I say having children young is a strategic error. That's what I always say about children. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's morally wrong. I don't judge people really for it. I just think it's a strategic error. And what do I mean by that is if you can barely pay for yourself, having a kid just binds you up. It's the same as debt. A child is essentially debt because it's a financial obligation you have to pay for the next 18 years at a minimum. And so it's basically like you just added a huge debt. The average child, I think it costs $300,000 to raise, and it's going to go up as cost of living goes up and all this other stuff. So basically, you pop out a child, it's a $300,000 debt you just took out. And heaven forbid you did it with a woman you didn't want to do it with. This type of stuff just crashes guys out of the game. They can't keep their dick in their pants. They're screwing it up. And this one, this is like a one-time thing. You screw this up one time, you're cooked. Seriously, this is a horrible thing. And we know this. And how many people do you know who've done this? Wiped themselves out of the game right here. Like they might have had promise in life and then they got the wrong girl pregnant. Next thing, wasting all of your time. This is another one that's just gonna knock you out of the game. Look at us, Detroit Lions. Like this is the stupid shit. We've all got another man's name on our back on this jersey. Like, what kind of shit is that? I don't understand football jerseys. Put another man's name on your back to me is just goofy. Got the beers on. Hell yeah, man. We spent all of these guys, I bet they work 9 to 5 jobs that they're not all that thrilled about. And then they go out on the weekend with the boys and get drunk. It's like you're stuck because you have this free time on the weekend and you choose it to go watch other men live out their dreams instead of pursuing yours. According to current data, the average person in Gen Z spends around 9 hours per day on their phone, and they're not self-improving, right? You watching this kind of content, guys, it puts you in the top 1% already based on content consumption. Most people are watching Mr. Beast. Most people are watching Love Island. Most people are just wasting their time doing stupid shit. They don't pursue any personal growth. After high school, college, they don't learn a damn thing. Seriously. Sitting on the couch watching TV. This shit makes me sick to my stomach, guys. When I see laziness, it makes me angry. I'm just like, I want to be so far away from that. Like, you have no idea. I like actually seeing it just because it makes me so angry. Because I see somebody in their pajamas at 10 o'clock, or I see somebody watching TV all weekend, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to annihilate you. You stand no chance. I'm going to destroy you in every way, shape, or form. I'm a fucking competitive guy, honestly. Like, and it brings joy to my heart to know that I'm going to stomp on all the people who are fucking watching TV all weekend, playing video games, goofing off, all this crap, jacking off, 9 hours on TikTok. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna destroy you, bro. You're in the fucking upper deck of the football stadium, and I'm putting in the work. So I'm gonna cook you. This is what the average person's doing, though. This is how they crash themselves out. How are you going to get ahead in life if you're wasting all of your free time? It just makes sense, okay? Ask yourself, what are you doing on a Saturday? If the football game's on, you're fucking up. I'm telling you, man. Like, no, I used to make excuses for this shit. I was like, like every now and then it's okay. Truthfully, no. I really disagree. I think you, in your 20s, every second you need to be getting ahead. I'm telling you, man. If you want to be great, if you want the best in life, if you don't want that, that's fine. But like, again, those of us who want that are gonna dunk on you, and don't be mad when we do. Okay. The next thing, this might be the biggest one. This one will break a man like nothing else. Seriously, because it's very hard to come back. A lot of guys can, but it's tough. A woman who you shouldn't be with, getting involved with a bad woman. Right? Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, that nearly nuked his whole career. I'm not sure if he's recovered yet. Even though he's been exonerated at this point, I still don't know if he's really made a comeback. I mean, that just wiped him out, right? She's pretty, man. And so it's hard. Like, we get fooled by this shit. We'll make excuses and stuff. And you're just like, like I saw this girl, this girl goes to my gym. I saw her. And I was like, she's kind of cute. But she just had these red flags about her. And then I, like, walked past her car, and there was, like, trash in the car. And I was like, yeah, like, I don't care how pretty you are. Like, I've just seen enough. Seriously, like, keeping you out of my life. I have a very, like, I know what happens when you get women into your life that you shouldn't let into your life. Destroys everything. I've made this mistake. It took me years to recover. In my early 20s, I dated someone I shouldn't have dated, and it broke me for a long time. It's one of the hardest, probably the hardest thing I dealt with in my life. It's rough, guys. I'm speaking from personal experience on this one. It cost me probably a couple years that I had to recover, rebuild, get back on the right track. It was ridiculous, okay? Girls like this, you're dating women like this. This is what the average man does. This is how they knock themselves out. You know those like TikTok interviews where they ask the girl like, so who's your celebrity crush? Or like, who would you like if you had one hall pass with a celebrity, or what, like all these kinds of things. Are you single? And like they'll ask these girls, and you'll just see the women have all these toxic behaviors that they spew out. And that's the hawk to a girl and all that crap. Like, why are you dating these women? Why do you have them in your life? What benefit does this bring to your life to have this woman in your life? Something you hate about men. I can't wait to hear this. Let's see what she has, because I'm sure she's got an intelligent opinion. She was out drunk on Bourbon Street in Austin, Texas, and now she knows about the world. Like, give me a fucking break, guys. It just, like, all this nonsense they do. It's like, guys will go on the internet and be like, should I let my girlfriend have a girls' night out? And I say that's the wrong question. Like, I would say, why are you with a girl that you even have to ask this question with? Because I see no benefit in dating a woman like this. Having one in your life, like, there's something casual at best. But it's just like, at a minimum, they're going to hold you back. And even worse, they're going to really wreck you. Seriously, like, name a single positive thing of having a woman like this in your life. And so if your woman wants to go out to a bar at all, I would tell you shouldn't be dating her. Seriously, it's not even about insecurity. It's not even about, can I have a girls' night out? Like, if my girlfriend, if I had one, if she wanted to go, movie night with her friends, I got no problem with that. You want to go out to dinner with your friends? I got no problem with that. The moment you want to go out to a bar. If you wanted to go out to a bar before I knew you, then I already know it's a red flag. I don't want to date somebody who puts themselves in these situations, I was in Nashville a couple years ago, and a friend and I, we were taking a walk down. We'd gone out, had a couple drinks at like I think it's Bourbon Street in Nashville, maybe, wherever all the bars are in Nashville and all that stuff. I'm just walking along outside. This girl, she's like half drunk, comes up, just wraps her arms around me and like basically leans on me. And then I look over at her and she kisses me. And I'm like, this could be some guy's girlfriend for all I know. And then she just followed me to this bar. She was trying to get me to buy her a drink. I didn't do it. We made out for like 2 minutes and then she left, like, because I wouldn't buy her a drink. Think about that. She didn't even know my name. She was half drunk. She like was making out with me before anything else. And then I refused to buy her a drink, and so she just walked off like she didn't know me. Why do you have this in your life, guys? Why? What is the benefit of doing this? Like, keep these women out of your life, and guys will just try and wife these girls up. There's no benefit. None. Okay? Spending your time arguing with a woman. This is what just average guys are doing. And they crash out of the game like this. Or you got right here, she's got you on a leash. All this nonsense. I hear this stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're done, man. You can't even control your own woman, and you think you're going to compete at the top level. Like, you're done, dude. You have to ask your woman if you can go out. Like, what is that? You have to, like, get permission to turn the TV on. And you think you're going to be a top level guy. Like, you're cooked. Seriously. This is the kind of stuff. These things right here, all of them, knock guys out. And you'll see that all of these things I just showed you are completely within your control. Just don't screw these up, and you're 90% of the way there. Nothing is required to become a top 1% man but common sense. Seriously. Common sense avoids all of those mistakes that I just showed you. It's just common sense. And then if you can avoid those things and then just do these 4 things I'm getting ready to show you, you will be a top 1% man in 3 years. It's practically a certainty. Seriously, it's not that hard. First one, take care of your health. Exercise. Getting in the gym. Get in the gym, guys. Why not? There's no good reason not to be in the gym. You just hit the gym 4 days a week. You don't even have to go as hard as people like me who really love it. Just get in the gym 4 days a week. Push yourself some. Again, like most people, 2.7% of the population are eating well, exercising regularly, and have a good body fat percentage. Like, it's not that hard. The bar is not that high. Seriously. Taking good supplements like Tonga Ali, which is good for your testosterone level. Keeping your testosterone up. Most guys have crashed their testosterone. Beer crashes your testosterone. Bad sleep crashes your testosterone. Junk food crashes your testosterone. Like, all this kind of stuff people are doing on a daily basis destroys their health. If you keep your testosterone up, it's a huge advantage for you. Getting good sleep, being on a sleep schedule, huge for your productivity, huge for your like mental health, huge for your physical health, your immune system. You won't get sick as much because you slept good. Your testosterone will be higher. Your body fat percentage will naturally be lower. Eating good food, eggs, steak, vegetables, fruits, things like that, as opposed to, cheesy fries and shit like that. Just, common sense. This is not rocket science, okay? Next one. Use your free time wisely. While everybody else is on TikTok, while everyone else is watching TV, playing video games, all this crap, you're improving yourself. You're in the gym, you're boxing, you're reading personal development. You're reading this book right here, Prisoners of Geography. It's just an example. It's an interesting book. It talks about how geography has determined different global conflicts and economic policies and stuff. That's an interesting thing. Most people don't know about that. It's interesting to know why Russia and Ukraine have gone to war again, and like how Russia's been invaded 3 times through the Ukraine, and that's why they're concerned about occupying that territory and they don't want NATO putting missiles in that area. It's just the fact that I just said that, 99% of people don't know that. You read those books, you're like, oh, that's interesting. And now you have opinions and you sound like an intelligent person. Your vocabulary's better. Watching podcasts about personal development, improving your mindset. What you put in your brain results in your life, seriously. So if you put junk in your head, you're going to get a junk life. You put quality stuff in your head, you're going to have a quality life. It just makes sense. The outer world is just a manifestation of your brain, seriously. Getting therapy. Therapy's a great use of your free time. Get your mind right, guys. Get over these negative patterns and stuff. I went to therapy and it helped me think more rationally. It helped me realize I had so much negative self-talk. I was keeping myself in this box where I was constantly self-sabotaging because I would tell myself I was going to fail. I had all these reference experiences from the past that I had built up by trying stuff and it just didn't work out. I'd convinced myself that I wasn't a successful guy, that I wasn't capable of it. Figuring out how to get through that has made me so much more confident, so much more effective, because it's like I used to take action and I didn't really believe it was going to work. Now I'm like, I know it's going to work. I know this YouTube channel is going to do well. I know my career is going to pop off. I know the girl's going to like me. I just had to change my inner dialogue. It was a huge thing. A lot of people act like therapy is like lame. I don't agree with that at all. I think it's a great use of your time. Next one, learning high income skills, right? Like I said, the average person, they haven't thought through their career, and this is how they crash out. you're going to think about it. You're going to say, okay, what would actually get me to the financial position I want? And here's a big key with this. I think people make a mistake. They chase their passions. At the beginning, chasing your passions really not that, it doesn't make that much sense. It's like, well, I've got a passion for genealogy, and so you go get a genealogy degree, and now you're making $50,000 a year, and you can't do anything with it. You should have a passion for excellence, and then find a vehicle that allows you to display excellence, right? I don't necessarily, I'm in real estate where I make most of my money right now. I don't have a passion necessarily for, synthetic stucco or different types of roofs or, contract negotiations. I don't necessarily have a passion for that, but I do have a passion for achieving excellence. And so I want to do great at it, and I like getting rewarded for that. And so that's where I draw my passion. I think that's a good way to frame this is rather than trying to find an actual craft that you're like, I love this thing, go find somewhere where you can display excellence. And excellence is a passion. It's like, I get to be great at this thing. And the better you get at something, the more you enjoy it. Because like I enjoy real estate because I'm good at it. I know how to find the right house. I know how to win a negotiation. I know how to handle this. And I get paid well and it's fun. Like I said, I don't have a passion for architectural shingles. I just like the fact that I get to be great at this thing. It's fun. So that's my tangent on that though, is don't go after passions, go after high income skills and opportunities to display excellence. So here's some examples. Sales. You can make way more money in sales. You can make $500,000 a year as a salesman in the right industry. Selling yachts, selling real estate, selling cars if you have expensive enough cars. $100 million Leads is a book about marketing. Marketing is a high income skill. The basic fundamentals of making money are having a product and knowing how to market that product. So this is absolutely a high income skill. Right here, watching content like this, how to make money on social media. While the average person is wasting their time watching Mr. Beast blow up a Lamborghini for the 100th time, you can learn how to make money on social media. And this James Smith guy, he's legit. Go watch his stuff. Real estate finance and investing right here from Cornell. You can get certified in this. That could probably help you get a high income job somewhere. There's different things like land acquisition positions. I know a guy who does land acquisition for a company. He gets 6 figures. He just has to go find land deals and negotiate them, and the company buys them, and then they build homes on them. I'd rather do that than make $50K as a data analyst. You know what I'm saying? This is just thought through. It's like, where's the money at? And let me get around that. Artificial intelligence, like I said, it's the future. Rather than being a graphic designer, become somebody who understands artificial intelligence, and then you can build the artificial intelligence that will do the graphic designing. You get what I'm saying? That's where the income's going to be. Blockchain, all these things. Think about the future. Don't find jobs of the past. Find jobs of the future so that you can get paid well. Because what happens is an opportunity opens up in the market, and you get paid really well until it gets saturated. So like computer programmers over time, right now we need more and more computer programmers because there's more and more computer stuff going on. Eventually we will reach this critical mass point where we'll have enough computer programmers and the job value of being a computer programmer will go down because there will be saturation. But right now in artificial intelligence, this just happened. It's extremely valuable. Not many people are good at artificial intelligence. So if you can do it, there's this opportunity where you can get paid a crap ton of money. It's a supply and demand thing. Right here, I put all these guys on here because the fourth thing that you need to do if you want to be a top 1% man is stay single until you get to that point. And all 4 of these guys right here are probably people that you know. Most of my subscribers know who Chris Williamson is, and Tristan Tate, obviously, and Rich Cooper, and then First Man right there. All of these guys are just like me, and they tell you stay single. That's why I put them on here. And you know what? They walked their talk. I don't think Chris Williamson has a girlfriend, and he's built probably the best podcast going, at least in my opinion right now. First Man, he's built a pretty successful business. He walked his talk, and he did it. He transformed himself. Tristan Tate, he said you shouldn't be dating long-term in your 20s. And then I think he did it. I'm not saying you can't date and casually, but you shouldn't be in a committed relationship. Rich Cooper, he'd say the same thing. All of these guys are successful men who say the exact same thing. Just stay single. There's no good reason to do it. Why would you date a woman before you've hit your prime? It's like signing a contract in the NBA before you have your best season. It's like you always get the max deal after you were an all-star. You don't do it in your rookie year. Guys are out here trying to get married in their rookie year. So you do that when you're on the max contract. Now you've got the negotiation power in your hands. But if you're down bad at 22, what options do you have? You're going to have to beg for scraps. You're barely in the league. It's like, dude, put in some work, be an all-star, top 1% guy, get the max contract. That's your mindset about this stuff. It's not rocket science, okay? So if you just avoid those 6 things and do these 4 things I just mentioned, you're gonna be a top 1% man in 3 years. It's basically a law of nature. Now, at this point, if you wanna get a more in-detail understanding of how men ruin their lives in their 20s so that you can avoid these things, click on the video that's coming up on screen where I break this down in detail. You can avoid these things and make sure you get ahead of 99% of men. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later.